Hello and welcome to Wealth and Mindset. This is a weekly newsletter that I'll be sending out via email. If you'd like to subscribe, then click the link in the description below. But also, it will be in video format and podcast format. So podcast format, if you want to check it out, through the ears, then head to the Neil Damrell Show. You get your podcast. But just want to put it into format so it's a little bit more information you can review and hopefully you can share it with me. But what the Wealth and Mindset newsletter is all about is just me sharing my personal experience from the past week, and hopefully that may be inspiring you to adopt some of the habits that I might be trying out this week and just learn from my own experiences and see whether that inspires you to be healthier as well. So just me sharing my ins and outs of what I do each week in terms of how I support my health, my wealth and my mindset. So let's get cracking into this week's newsletter. So this week I've been doing cold showers, and I've been doing cold showers for quite a while, 3 years now, but I decided to take it to another level. The cold showers had been making me sick, and that's the reason why I'm talking about it today. So I decided to up my game with the cold showers and allowing my body to warm up naturally. And this is according to Andrew Huberman, who is the American neuroscientist. You might have heard him on his podcast, which is a very informative and podcast. Definitely recommend to check it out if you haven't done so already, which is the Huberman podcast. He mentions that this increases your metabolism because your body has to thermoregulate itself. So you jump out the shower, you haven't warmed up, you're not jumping into a sauna or a jacuzzi to warm up. You're just letting your body naturally trying to raise temperature naturally. So this could leave you feeling quite cold, as it was for me, for a good few hours. And carrying very little body fat, it takes longer than most people. So after a week of doing this, I felt that I was experiencing a few more cold symptoms and chills at night. So overall, I was really struggling to regulate my temperature, and I felt this was having a negative effect. Maybe because I was going too extreme and doing it too often. So I would do a 2-minute warm shower and then a 2-minute cold shower. So if I'd had the shower for less time, the effects wouldn't have been as severe. However, the lesson for me was just making sure I do a cold shower at the start of my shower for 1 to 2 minutes and then follow with a warm shower afterwards, which generally helps me feel a lot better, regulates my body temperature naturally, or assists me naturally, and I feel a lot better for the rest of the day rather than trying to, really my metabolism through the thermogenesis. And carrying little body fat is probably something that I don't really need to focus on as much in terms of my metabolism, because that's already generally efficient with carrying more muscle than body fat. So wealth-wise, I'm currently reading The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This is a really, really good book, and I'll be sharing more insights as the weeks go on. But I'm only halfway through, and it's made me feel less anxious about money and building wealth. And if that's something you've experienced, let me know in the comments below if you feel anxiety around wealth you created or that you own. And with reading this book, it's allowed me to sort of have more control in terms of my perspective when it comes to wealth, because we all like to think that we have a certain control over our investments and finances, but in reality we have control over very little. And he highlights this a lot. It says history never repeats itself, man always does. So our perspective of wealth and what we do and how we manage it is generally internalized within our minds, as opposed to what we like to think we can control outside of that. And it's definitely really, really, really good to check out. I'll pop the link to the book in the description if you want to check it out. So definitely worth a read. I'll be sharing more insights as the weeks go on. Mindset wise, what I've been finding as well, working from home, if you're like me, you're working from home more now than you did pre, it can be hard to switch off at the end of each day. And this is something that I can easily get distracted with, continue to work into the late hours of the evening if I want something to do. Working for yourself, there's always something to do. So what I've found, to my surprise, is working really well, is that I've been walking more. So my goal at the start of the year was try and do at least 10,000 steps every day. And majority of the time I'm doing that. This has really helped me just think about more daily throughout my day, not just in one chunk of time. So I might be exercising for an hour, but I'm still trying to get those 10,000 steps in, just to give me a bit more move rather than doing an hour of exercise and then being sat down all day. And 10,000 steps, very doable. If you're not doing much in terms of your activity day to day, our jobs are more sedentary now. I could be doing up to 2,000 steps a day, driving to and from work, sat in the office all day, even whatsoever. So going for a walk at the end of a day with my partner has been something that's really benefited me, not just in terms of getting my 10,000 steps in, but has actually allowed me to really switch off at the end of a day. So I found having that walk really separates home and work. Your work is at home these days, but you need to separate that in some form, because it can, those lines can be merged quite easily. So going for a walk before work as well, lunchtime, just to break up, to get the 10,000 steps in over the course of a day, rather than leaving it to the end of the day and going out for an evening walk, which will take you probably an hour and a half if you haven't done much steps throughout the day. So don't leave it to the end. But while I've been doing those 10,000 steps, that separation, when we leave, finish the day at work, go for a walk, you switch off your phone, laptop. When you come home, even if you've just popped out for half an hour, it's dinner time, you can prepare some food, you can relax, you can unwind and get ready for bed, and just have that downtime where you can really decompress from the busy day and then get revitalized for the next day. So definitely recommend getting out for a little bit of a walk at the end of each day. If you commute to and from work, obviously that's a great way of doing it, but most of us are missing that option now because we're working from home more often. So try and add in a little walk at the end of each day, just like you would have done if you were commuting to and from work. Maybe add it in the morning as well for half an hour, just to make sure you're having that in throughout the day, just to break it up, because obviously you're missing out on those options a lot more if you're working from home now. So that's really been helpful for me in terms of my mindset as well, really relaxing me at the end of each day as well. So hopefully that will benefit you if you adopt those habits as well. And finally, within the newsletter, if you're accessing this in newsletter format, if you get it in your inbox, which comes out every Friday, then I also have a little lyric or quote that I'm pondering, just to, gets me thinking. I'm quite a avid listener of music, and I really enjoy listening to the lyrics and things I pick up on, as opposed to just poems and quotes that you might see dotted around the internet. And this quote comes from Logic, from the song Every Day. Turn on the television and see the vision they feed us. And I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to give my 2 cents on that quote or that line from that lyric. Something for you to ponder, to think about. And if you've got any questions or anything, any thoughts on that lyric, happy to share that with me in the comments below. So thank you very much for coming along to the first wealth and mindset newsletter. You can join me each week with a regular video that's going to be coming out every Friday alongside. If you want the newsletter in newsletter format, then click the link in the description below, and also a link to the podcast if you like to listen to the newsletter as well, coming out every Friday. So make sure if you want regular updates on health, wealth and mindset, and hopefully that can help improve your wealth and mindset in the future. Thanks for listening.